Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Music Journal podcast. I'm very excited to embark on this journey with you. The Music Journal started as an outlet for my passion for music. I always found myself following the artists to the studio, to the behind the scenes, and basically to the creative process. And this outlet has helped me connect with the artists that enjoy this passion on stage. And today I'm sharing this sofa with the very amazing JSCA. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We have been exchanging likes on social media. I found you on TikTok and I was like, I really like this. I like your concept. I like your vibe. So I thought, if she wants to, we can do this. So I'm very excited to have you. How are you feeling today?
Good. Very excited. I love the place. You look amazing.
Thank you. So, what do you think? Should we get started with the questions? Are you ready?
Yes, let's get
Because
into
I have
it.
a little surprise for you.
Okay.
So, to kick things off, could you share with us what sparked your interest for singing?
To be honest, like a lot of singers always say, like you start singing when you're young. I don't think I was very good when I was young. Like, I'm sure I was rubbish, but my parents thought I was a good singer, so they kind of kept me going. And then, when I was in secondary school, I was kind of dabbling in the different arts, so like drama or music or like drawing and painting and things. And I kind of picked one, and I decided to just go with music. I wanted to be a singer.
Yes. It's very good what you said about your parents, that they were encouraging, because sometimes people find it very hard to thrive in the arts because parents tend to think that it's not viable, which sometimes is true, but
yeah. I mean, my parents, they just, whatever I wanted to do, they just would support it. And my dad still says you should have a plan B, which, okay, he's right, but you know, my focus is music. It has to work. Yes. I think that's the only way that you can make it work, is if it's your goal, 100%.
Yes. Yeah. I think that applies to everything in life, really. Like, you must kind of pour all that energy to like focus absolutely on just that one thing, because you can actually, I don't know if you believe in manifesting.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
And I think that is literally how it works. The more you pour into it, and you let it go, right? Like, you don't need to like hold on to it has to happen, but the moment you understand that it has to happen, it will.
Exactly, that's so true. I agree.
And now, before I get to the second question, I want to introduce you to a little game.
Okay.
I want to, if my beloved teammate helps me with this, thank you, Vet. For you, it's literally just a few papers, but I just wanted to use a few questions that are on theme. So, what am I doing? You're supposed to pick.
Okay. That one, yes.
Yeah.
Do I open it?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Do you want me to read it?
Actually, I should read it for you.
Okay.
So, what is a hidden talent that you have that most people don't know about?
Oh my god, that's a really good question. Put me on the spot. Let me think. A hidden talent.
Now I'll put you on the spot.
For real. Oh, I do have one. I'm really good at rock, paper, scissors.
Oh.
I almost always win.
Do you want to try right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
This will be so funny if I don't. Shut up. Anyways, ready?
Okay, 1, 2, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, wait. No, hold on. How do you do it? I do rock, paper, scissors, and then you go.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes,
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. But we matched them pretty much.
Yes,
all of
we
them.
did.
I think that means we're on the same vibration.
Yes, literally. This is crazy. I didn't expect that. Okay. Let's go with the second one. You describe your sound as Latin alternative pop.
Yes.
Could you delve into the specific influences and inspirations that contribute to your sound?
Yes. So I started because I growing up in London, but being surrounded by my Colombian culture, I had this like kind of blend. And I think because when you're young, you try to assimilate to the culture around you, like at school and things. I was trying to I remember I started like maybe doing R&B or like that kind of vibe, which is what most people kind of go for. The people around me were kind of going for that. And I just felt like something was missing, like it wasn't hitting the spot. And I was like, what is it? And then eventually, like after a trip to Colombia, I came back and I was like, you know what? That's what's missing. Like it's this Latin element to the music. So that's kind of what started my journey into like what I would call Latin alternative pop. And then like some artists that directly inspired the work that I'm doing is people like, for example, Juanes. His melodies and songwriting and like the guitar, and he was kind of one of the front runners, I think, in alternative pop, rock pop.
That's true.
In his age anyway. I mean, he's still massive obviously, but when he was coming up, people hadn't heard what he was making. People hadn't heard before. And then like artists that are slightly more contemporary, like Mon Laferte. Oh, she's like amazing.
She's Colombian as well?
She is Chilean, I believe. And she just, has a really powerful voice, and she writes a lot of different genres and kind of blends. Who else? Yeah, and then there's other Latin artists that do different types of blends, like Caliuchis, who kind of blends R&B and stuff.
Yes.
Or like Leo Pimienta, she does really alternative sound, like mixing a lot of traditional rhythms, like Colombian rhythms that you just don't hear in mainstream, and creating something so new. And that's kind of what I want to do, definitely, like something that is an experience to listen to, if that makes sense. Actually,
when you said that is exactly what I was thinking when I was listening to your EP, that we are going to get into that, Telenovela. But that EP, actually, it just felt ancestral, the bass.
Oh my God, thanks, I'm so glad you said that.
I was wondering, what is this? And when I was doing some research on you, I found this artist you just mentioned, Leo
Pimienta.
Yes, and when I heard her, I heard the same thing. And I was like, okay, I see it. I also see that you didn't mention her, but Selena.
Oh yes, of course. I mean, but she's like a foundation for so many Latin artists. Like she kind of sets the groundwork of what you kind of want to do. Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to mention. You just know, if you're Latina, she's there.
Yes, that girl. Love her so much. And what you said about Juan is absolutely true. Like, I remember growing up in Spain, he was huge there. And he still is. Like, he's a reference there.
Yeah.
So, I really like what you're doing. Okay. Before we get to the third one, we will do another round of this.
These are fun. Okay, try to pick another one.
Yes.
Okay, here you go.
Okay. So in connection to what you were just saying, if you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I think I just mentioned a couple that I would want to collab with. I don't have any dead ones. Only alive ones. I would love to do a song with Juanes. Like, that is like the dream one day. And also, this is like so aspirational, and honestly I think I couldn't do it because she's so amazing. But Rosalia, like, she's my queen, and I know she's like not Latin, like she's from Spain, but she gets controversial, but she's a genius in my opinion. Absolutely love her, such a fangirl. Yes. But I just feel like I don't think I could even. I would want to, but she's just too amazing. I don't know.
But we love Rosalia in my house. Like, we have pet fishes. One of our fishes is named Rosalia.
Stop!
Yes. And we saw her a year ago. Was it a year ago? A year ago, live here on the O2. Stunning. It just was giving theatrical, but also very organic at the same time. And
she seems like such a cool, like, friendly person. Like, I just want to be her best friend.
Yes, so down to earth. She's very cool.
She's cool.
You're cool too, though. You get the vibes. So we get to Telenovela. Your latest EP, Telenovela, delves into the emotional stages of the immigrant experience. What motivated you to explore this theme, and how did you translate these experiences into your music?
So I was really inspired by my family and like the people that are really close to me, because they've all gone through similar, like they've all had similar stories. Like if you speak to anyone in the Latin community, it's pretty much the same story all around. Like everyone has had to deal with like immigration and visas and all this, and like making a living here, and it's just really difficult to navigate that world. And I just thought that not a lot of people know about that struggle, and they might take their own positions for granted. This might be, again, controversial, but a little bit of controversy here. Like, when there's a few protests, like a while back, I think during 2020, the Black Lives Matter protest, there was a lot of protests, and loads of people were going to the protests. And I wanted to go, and I didn't end up going because I was in a position at that time where I was helping someone with, like, this process of like visas and stuff, and they brought to my attention something I hadn't thought of, and it was basically that it was like, if anything happens to you, if you get arrested, if you get in trouble, if anyone does anything against you, the whole process that we're on is cancelled. Like if you get in any kind of trouble, like you cannot have any involvement. So it was like, I realized that it's a privilege. There's a privilege to like being able to have freedom in a country that a lot of people take for granted, like the freedom to protest and the freedom to go to a union if you're being abused at work. And a lot of immigrants, a lot of illegal immigrants, and the stories in the Latin community are about a lot of people having to deal with crap from employers because they can't actually say anything because they might not be here legally, or, you know, this is the only job that they're being offered. So all of these experiences were like, where I was like shown this different, like from a personal side. I was like, this is a story that I want to tell, and this is such an emotional like roller coaster, all these stories, that I just feel like they deserve something to commemorate them. Like this is what my grandparents have been through, my parents, and now myself. That's kind of what inspired it. Is I just wanted to tell this story in a artistic way, not just a news article or a reporter or a journalist, but like create an art about the story and struggle that immigrants go through that people don't realize they do. Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
No, that was very, very deep and very meaningful. Like, it's so beautiful that you are using your voice, literally your voice, and your privilege, like you said, to talk about these matters, because it is true that people don't realize the privilege they live in many times. And when you move countries, you get to see just something that so many things that never even cross your mind. It's just from the bureaucratic aspect, like you said, to experiences with the new people, new culture, new everything.
New languages. Like, this isn't like, especially here in the UK, like it's not like you're going to another Spanish-speaking country where there's a level of at least you speak the language. Like here, a lot of people come and they don't speak the language, and that is incredibly difficult. It's just, if you can't communicate, how do you do anything? Like it just makes it so much more difficult. And speaking to other people, like in my family and the community, when they don't speak the language, like English, like it can be frustrating, because like, say, I don't know, you want to insult someone, like someone cut in line or whatever, and you want to say da 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 da, and you can't say it in your own language, and you have to, and then you sound like maybe silly or not as serious if you're trying to insult in English, for example. It just takes away from a person. And I think it's like, it's crazy. Like you don't realize until you're in that situation. When you have things taken away from you, when suddenly you can't communicate, suddenly you can't advocate for your rights in the same way, and you feel it can feel very helpless. And that knocks on people's confidence, and like it's hard. Well,
it's good that there's people like you out there using the art for these super important things to talk about, because you're doing the job, girl. Okay, now let's get to a little bit of fun stuff again.
Okay.
Okay, let's get another one.
Here you go.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Describe your music in 3 words.
Okay, I would say experience, eclectic,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go with authentic.
Okay. I can give you another one. I can give you spiritual as well.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through like the nitty gritty of Telenovela, because I need to know, how did you create the songs of the EP? How did the creative process go? What were some challenges that you faced and some victories as well?
Yeah. How did the creative process go? I had the concept of the whole thing for a really long time in my head. I knew I wanted to create a visual type of album, EP. So I knew that I wanted a video for every song, and I knew that I wanted it to tell a story, each song to be like a stage in this migration journey.
Yes.
And I kind of started off with Tregua, which is in the middle of the EP. So I didn't really start from the beginning, but that kind of set the tone. I was like, okay, this came out how I wanted it to. Now I'm going to work off that. And each song was written like quite differently. For example, Ducati, I started when I just thought of the beginning intro, that is Ducati.
Mm-hmm.
I had that in my head for ages, and I just had that for a long time. And then it kind of became like the rest of the song. For example, Tregua, I only had, again, that intro, that little guitar intro. I had only that for the longest time. And then other songs that just came out like this, like Volví a Nacer, came out really quickly. Once the guitar, like I had the chords and I was working with the guitarist. Once the chords were down, that song came out pretty naturally. And yeah, Ethereal, for example, I had produced the demo for that as well ages ago, and I had it, and I just didn't have anything to like, no one to really polish it and make it like how I specifically imagined it. And then when I took it to my producer, he kind of elevated it and made it what it sounds now, like today. But that is very similar to the original demo that I made. Yeah, and each song I wanted it to be a different genre. Sorry. I wanted it to be like a different genre, each song, to represent each mood and like emotion, and also to show versatility, because this telenovela is kind of like my baby in showing who I want to be as an artist. So I wanted to show everything that I could be. I can be really alternative and like create really experimental kind of sounds. For example, the first track, House on the Crossroad, or Ethereal. But also I can be quite traditional with Volví a Nacer, which is just like straight up guitar ballad, like nothing too out there, but it's more about the lyrics and the story I'm telling. And I can do reggaeton and I can do a mix of both. Do you know what I mean? So this is why the whole EP is so, each song is so different, because it's my first full EP produced and money, and I wanted it to have everything that I can be as an artist.
Yes, and you can tell, because from songs like Volví a Nacer, that one literally made me cry because it literally encapsulates what you were explaining on the previous question, but also it's just you can sense that there is care in this project, that you literally spend hours, and what you say about the creative process, like it's not a straight line. Like
not at all.
You take something that you wrote in your diary 2 years ago and it connects with something that comes now. It's very interesting that, because it happened the same for me for the music journal, and I didn't know how to start. I just had this passion for music, like analyzing music to the core, but I just didn't know where to go from there.
Yeah, I think a lot of creative people can relate. It's never like step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yes.
It's very much like, today I was inspired, and then tomorrow I wasn't, and then in a week I was inspired again, and I made more work. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. And I also wanted to ask you, why did you choose the title Telenovela?
So I wanted to, like I said before, create like a piece of art. So I wanted to almost glamorize or elevate this migration story, and I thought and because each song has a video and it is titled like episodio, like because it's telling a story, right? I thought, oh well, it's like a telenovela. It's like my own little telenovela of migration, of all the trials and tribulations. So that's why I picked that.
That's very interesting. I really like that. When I saw the name, I was like, Like, do you have a favorite telenovela, by the way?
Oh my god, you know what? There was one that stuck with me when I was really young. I do not remember the name of it, but I remember the main characters' names.
Yeah.
And it was basically, the guy was called, I think it was called Monchi, and the girl was called Luna. And like, he's after her, and she's like, I don't really remember the story. I just remember that couple like was ingrained in my brain. I loved them as a thing. I loved that whole series, but I don't even remember what it was about anymore.
So you like telenovela?
Yeah, we watched in my house. We watched a lot.
Okay, what was the La Usurpadora?
What's that one?
This one, I don't know where it's from, but it's like a story about the main character, the actress, is playing herself and a lost twin.
Oh.
And it basically goes like, the main character is rich and her twin is poor, so they clash at one point.
That's so
and
good.
she chooses to like change identities with her. It's a mess, but yes,
we love the mess.
It's a classic in my house. Okay, next question. Do you want to do a next question, or do you want to do a fun question?
Well, let's do another one of these.
Okay.
Here you go.
What's the most challenging song? Oh yes.
You wrote these, girl.
What is the most challenging song you ever written, and what made it so challenging?
That's such a good question. The most challenging song. I don't think I've had the most challenging song, to be honest.
Or you have time to have.
I think maybe some of my new work is gonna maybe answer that question, because I'm trying to do something a little bit different. I'm trying to create something else. But the music I've made so far honestly hasn't been super duper challenging, because I had a really clear idea of what I was gonna do from the start.
Yes.
So that answer will be at another time.
For the next
For the next one.
Okay, so fourth question. Can you walk us through the... No, this is literally the... Next question is the fifth question. As an emerging artist, what challenges have you encountered while navigating the music industry? And what opportunities do you see for artists like yourself in today's landscape musically?
I see a lot of opportunities. At the moment, like, there's a lot of things happening. Like, it feels very exciting, because there's a lot of stuff brewing, and like, it feels like at any moment it's just gonna explode and it's gonna be a huge boom, because there's a lot of artists, like specifically UK Latin artists, doing really cool stuff, and getting attention as well. So it's like at any point it's just gonna all kick off. But yeah, I think challenges and stuff, I mean, I think it's always challenges, and it's more so when you're very specific, when you have a very specific niche like Latin artists do, and then if you're doing not just Latin music but then alternative pop, like it just gets deeper and deeper and harder to like market and promote and get people to kind of give you a chance. I'd say like some of the biggest challenges I've come across is trying to get people to understand what I'm doing, because in the UK, when they hear like Latin music, they don't really know kind of what to expect. They think they do, and then and then they might reject you based on what they think, but it's not really the true definition of what Latin artists are doing. So it's like you send emails and they're not gonna get, they're gonna get completely ignored because people are not really, they're like, I don't really know what that is. Like, I'd rather talk about something else. Do you know what I mean? That honestly, that has been the most challenging. Getting my foot in the door has been really hard. But you know, with every yes is one step closer. So we keep going, and I think more opportunities are coming. Definitely.
Like, you made me remember that, I don't know if you know that meme of Lady Gaga saying there can be 1,000 people.
Oh my
in a
god,
room.
have you seen that she does it? She says that in like every interview. Oh my god, that's so funny. That is so
You
funny.
only need one person. Like, you only need one person.
And she says it with such passion.
Yes.
Every time. She fully believes
She had
it.
to sell that movie. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, it is what
Do
it
what
is.
you gonna do, girl.
So, let's get to the 6th question, but before we have
Yeah, I
left.
mean, we're nearly done. Okay. Here you go.
Okay, this is fun. Name a song that always makes you dance.
Oh my god. Oh, I know this one off the top of my head. Like, anyone who knows me will know this song is like my fave. Atrévete by Calle 13. Listen, that song, when the cumbia bit at the beginning comes on.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, it's very good.
I cannot
really like
contain
that
myself. I know that song is a bit also controversial. It's got some controversial lyrics.
Yes.
But it was from a different time.
It was.
And
we're gonna leave it at that.
we're gonna leave it at that.
It's what
It's
it
a
is.
banger. What can I say?
It is. Okay, so let's get with the live performances. Can you tell me something about how you adapt your music to the scene, to the stage, and what can people that follow you expect from your shows?
Yeah, so I recently did a show with 3 other Latinas at Jazz Cafe, and I think that is like the epitome of what I want my live shows to be. Like that kind of, that level of drama and like lights and energy. So I think what people can expect is, if I have a full band, it's like high energy, lots of emotion, like a show. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like a show, and you're gonna see it all. Like, I'm gonna let it all out on stage. Like, that's kind of how I like to perform. I just like to go all out. But I've also done intimate shows as well. Like at my EP launch, I did basically an acoustic, like bolero style rendition of all my songs and a few covers as well. And that was really fun. That kind of lets my voice shine a little bit more, because it's, you know, it's a slower thing. So honestly, like, hire me. I can do everything. I can do full band. I can do acoustic sets.
No, you literally are like a 360 artist. I was listening to the EP during the weekend. I was stalking you everywhere. Okay? Like, my sister knows. And I just think that your voice, you have everything. Like, your voice is clear. You have a lot of vocal control.
Thank you.
It's everything is there. You just need that push, that stuff. And it is. Okay, so we are near the end. Honestly, this is sad because this has been very good. I'm very excited about this. So I will let you pick the last little piece of paper. Okay, this is fun too. What is the most memorable concert you ever attended, and why?
I actually haven't gone to too many concerts. Yeah, I grew up in a strict household. I wasn't allowed to go. When all my friends were at concerts, I wasn't allowed to go.
So do you remember a concert? Because growing up, I watched I would put a concert in my house. So what is a performance that you, in the back of your mind, that you always have of an artist that you really like?
Well, when I finally moved out, I was like, I'm going to concerts. So one of the first concerts I went to actually was Nati Peluso.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, and she was sick. That was such a sick concert. Like, just her energy and the drama and just like she's amazing live. Was insane. And that sticks in my brain for sure.
Yes, I actually can see the similarities between what you said about your show and her shows.
Yeah, huge inspo for sure.
And she has music coming out.
I know, I'm excited.
So, we are in the end. And I'm going to ask you about what is in the horizon for you. What can we expect?
I'm working on some new music. It's a slow process because there's many moving parts and you got to coordinate. But yeah, you can expect some new visuals and like a new concept. I've got a new concept. I've gone through quite some stuff in the last couple of years that I need to get off my chest.
Yes.
So yeah, think, boleros, cumbias, mix and match in between, a little bit of a darker aesthetic because, I'm going to be 25 this year. My frontal lobe has formed. I'm a different woman to who I was.
That is so true. I keep telling her, I'm like, Yvette, the moment it kicks in, it kicks in.
It really does. It's day and night. I thought people were joking. They're not.
No. One day I woke up and I was like, oh my God.
For real. This I can tell you exactly when it happened. It was this year, January. I woke up one day and I was like, like, in So Raven,
yes.
It was like that. I was like, I saw my life flash before my eyes and I was like, I need to change my life right now. And a bunch of changes were made.
Yes.
And I just feel like I'm a different woman now. So a new phase, I'm in a new era. And the music's going to reflect that.
That sounds exciting. So, JSCA.
Right, girl.
Thank you very much for coming to the Music Journal.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun.
Thank you. You literally inaugurated. Is that a word?
Yeah, it is.
She inaugurated the Music Journal podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm very excited. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Please make sure to check out every project that she has coming up because, like you heard, she is coming with heat. Okay? So follow, subscribe, follow her. I'm going to leave all her details on the description box, on the screen somewhere. It's going to be there, okay? Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.